Hi, this is Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today's video is talking about Scamp, a book collection that I had did on this channel this week and last week. Now we did every Scamp book out there except one. And that one book we will never do for a long time unless it goes down real cheap. Because the Scamp book that I can't play costs about $35. And I can't see myself paying that much money for a book I'm only going to read for one day. Now, what I'm going to talk about is how they changed this character from the first book to the last book, and how they changed the father a lot, and how they changed the sisters a lot too. And they even changed one of the kids in this story. Now the first thing you can see that the first two books, he was a gray little puppy for the most part, and I don't know if they talked about the parents that are on these books. They talked about the puppies, and they talked about the sisters and him. So this book, they just talked about the sisters and just him. They really didn't talk about much of the parents. And in the second book, I think they did the same thing too. Let's see. Yeah, the second book, they talked about the sister and the brother. So it was only these. Then you had to wait. There was comic books of this character from I think the late '60s or early '60s all the way into the late '70s that I don't have. And then they did this book in 1979. Now look what they did to the poor dog. They made him brown. I don't know why he became a brown dog. And what they did is they changed the father into a brown dog also. Because in the first book, he was a gray dog. Let's see if I can show a picture of that dog. Yeah, bitch. In the first book, he was a gray dog. So why did they make him brown? Yep. So I don't know why they changed the dog color. He was gray in the first book. He was gray in the movies, and but they made this poor little puppy gray. Of course, we still got the original characters. Still, you got Sarah, you got Darlin, and you got Junior. And soon we'll be talking about this kid soon too, and how they changed them. Then in the third book, or fourth book, 19, I think it was this was 1980. Let's see if I'm correct before I make a fool of myself. Yeah, 1980. They made him gray again. Now let's see if they made the father gray too. Oh, that's strange. Okay, what they did, well, they did a boo boo. They made him gray on the cover, but in the book, he's so brown. Him and his father are brown dogs. And then we got the main two characters, Jim and Darwin. Jim wanted in the second in the third book. What puzzled me is what year do Lady and the Champ take place in? Because it looks like it takes place in the 20s or the 1900s. Because of the way they dress and the car they drive. If you know what year this takes place in, you can leave it in the comments. Be interesting. I know it don't take place in modern era. The first two books did. I'm thinking. Let's see. The first two books take place in any kind of era. Yeah, the first two. Well, this one takes place any kind of era because it don't really take place outside, so don't really give you a time. Of course, this book did bring back the Simon Wee cats, and I think they come back in another book, but you don't really see them too often. And I think what this takes place at. And this book takes place maybe in the 50s because they took place in modern era because they were in 50 clothes. But then when you get to newer books, they take place in another century. So I'm puzzled. And then book number 5, he's so well, that's a see, book number 5, he's so Brown, 1981, and it takes place in the 19 something. Let's see if the father's Brown also. Yeah, the father's so Brown, Champ and Scamp. So this is 1981. So far they're keeping up with the colors. Well, what's going to happen? They're going to do something to change the dog up on us. Now he's graying this cover. In the 1982 cover, he's a gray dog. Now is he gray in the book? Yep, he's gray in the book also. So in 1982, they made the dog the real color supposed to be gray. They made Scamp gray also, just like in his first book. So what had happened between 79 and 82? Now I don't know if the comic books would he going back and forth in colors, but why did they make him brown and then they brought him back to gray again? Now, were there different people working at the Disney Book Company that didn't know what they were doing? They had new because they had new people doing this character each time. That probably makes sense. That they didn't keep track of what the other guy did. And I don't know if they got writers. And all it says is the Walt Disney Book Company. So don't tell me who did what. There are no authors on this thing. Nobody tell me who wrote what. Now that's book number one, two, three, four, five. This is book number 6. And you got all the main characters. You got Aunt Sarah. I think you got Jim. You got Darlin in this book. You got Lady Champ. Now let's see if they got the one of the books that had the kids, the sister names in it. Let's see if this was the book. Nope, they don't have the kids name because one of the books they got the 3 sisters. Now, book number 7 for 1983, I think. Yep, 83. Now, why is he turning a different color again? Now he looks like he's a dark brown dog. Let's see if he's gray brown. It's a yep, he's brown in this book. So how did he go from gray to brown again? Yeah, that's Scamp right there. He's a brown little puppy. And I think they have the kids one of the books they have the kid's name in it. See, they got the 4 puppies. They all went to the park. No, they don't got it in this one. But they brought back the cat. Because Pumpkin was in I think Pumpkin was in the first book, the 1979 book or the 1980 book. Let's see. Yeah, I think he was in this book because the cat got lost and they had to find, and they only the little dog can find the cat. Let's see. Okay, what is this book? No, it wasn't that book. I know they had the cat in one of these books. Now, to figure what book it was is another story. So you saved the house. Oh, let's see this one does. It's quite good to have these books because then you could go back and forth and look at the book. Okay. The Pumpkin got lost in 1979, the third book. And then he came back for the seventh book. So I'm glad they're going in that kind of order. And like I said, he's brown in this book. I don't know why he's brown. But I got all the characters. You got Aunt Sarah. You got Darlin. You got Junior. So you got three of the main characters. Now, book number 8 from 1988. He's a gray puppy. Scamp and gray, Champ and Scamp are the same color again. Of course, this is a different kind of book. Also, this is a Disney rhyming reader, so it's like a rap book. Everything rhymes real good. Yeah, see, just to make sure he was the same color. He's gray again. And let's see, I know one of the books that had the names of all the sisters. Not in this book, they didn't. And what they kind of did, what they gave like guest appearance of the Dalmatian from 101 and the little dog from um the 1988 movie. So they gave little guest appearance in this book only. I wrote it down so I would remember it. Yeah, Oliver and Company. That was the Spanish dog in that movie. The little Mexican, funny looking animal. Now, now we got Lady and the Champ. The kind of the movie version of the book version of that movie. Now in here, Champ is brown. Now he was gray in the movie. I've seen the movie 100 times. The TV silver, the TV brown or gray. And in this book, Lady and Darlin have a baby girl. They don't tell who the baby girl name is, but they didn't have a son. So I wonder where the son came from. Okay, they made the main dog brown. Somebody made a mistake. Unless they were copying all the other books with Scamp in it and said, let's make the father brown because people are recognizing him as a brown dog. But they have a baby daughter. But then at the end of the book, but at the end of the book, he's a boy. So what had happened in between this book? Where the baby girl at? Cause no, in this whole book they talked about the baby. They talked about a little baby daughter, and they had to save the little baby. They had to save that little girl in the whole book. But at the end, they have a boy, and this is Junior. But Junior is not in this book. So somebody made a mistake in this book also. Number 9 from 1981. Now we get to the Lady and the Champ 2. Now he's back to original color. About 40, no, about 33 years later. He's a gray puppy. Or about 30 years later, he's gray again. And it's either all gray, right? Yeah. So this is him in this one. Now in this book, they changed the characters of the three puppies of Lady's three little brown puppies. The one of the books, I can't find out what it was, but their names were not this name. Let's see if we can find the names of the puppies. If I have all these books next to me, so I can go back and forth when I happen to figure out a lot of things. Here we go. Now, in this book from 1981, 1981, the three little puppies were named Fluffy, Ruffy, and Scooter. And I was remembering the names because they kept saying them a lot in all the books. Or after this one. Now, in 2003, they changed the name of the three little puppies. Now the girl puppies are in Annie Tet, Claude Tet, and Danielle. Now, why didn't they keep the names Fluffy, Ruffy, and Scooter for the original people who read these things for 30 years? Was it too hard to keep the names? And that would have been easier to remember. Because even in the first movie, they didn't have any kids, so you didn't really have to worry about that. And they put a new character in here called Angel, the little puppy right there. But in the next book, the Angel disappears. Now, why did Angel disappear if she was living with the family? And why couldn't they keep the original three little puppy names either? Now, I don't know why. And was Lady and the Champ 2 a movie that the book is made from, or was this the original story that was just continuing the Lady and the Champ series? You can leave that in the comment also. But I'm brand new to this stuff. Now the final book I have. This is from 2004, and they have a new person called Princess, and he's gray in this book. I think, isn't he? Yep, he's gray in this book. They brought him back in the original color in the last two books. But why was he changed from gray to brown? Because in his first book, he was a gray little puppy. In his last book, he was a gray little puppy. Even his parents were gray. But what happened between 1979 to 19 okay, from 1979 to 1980. Yeah, these two books he was brown. The 79 and the 1980s, he was a brown puppy for whatever reason. Then they brought him back to gray again, just to bring him back to brown. Let's see, was he the gray dog in this one too? Nope, they made him gray in the cover, but they turned him brown. He was brown for three books. Then he stayed gray for these two books. So in a sense, he was gray for see one, two, three, four. Let's see. He was gray for five books, and he was brown in four books. That's crazy. These are his gray eras. He was gray for one more book I have to hold up. I can't do that. But he was gray for one, two, three, four, five. He was gray for six books. Then he did turn brown in four books. Now that's a mystery. Now, had anyone ever read the comics? And if you did, what color was the dog? Brown or gray? And did he was the characters in the comics, the four main characters, Lady, Champ, Jim, Darlin, Junior, Aunt Sarah, and the three sisters he had, uh, Fluffy, Ruffy, and Scooter. So was these eight characters in the book, or was it just like his first two books, with not too many characters, except him being a little dog? And another thing is, these two books, he was like a Benji. He didn't really talk at all. He was just like Benji wandering around the areas, getting into trouble. Then they made him talk in the other books. So this is just me picking on Scruffy. Now Scruffy's all done. It was nice to know everything about Scruffy and Lady and the Chimp also, because they're two in one. They were like the Marvel Universe in a sense. But you had Scruffy, Lady and the Champ, and all the other characters in all the same books. Now, Tomorrow will be another series we'll play. I have no clue what the next series is going to be, and I hope the next series everyone likes also. It might. I don't know if it'll be a long one. Like, oh, I don't think nothing's gonna be long like Scamp. Scamp was the longest series I ever played so far on the channel. So, but the next series will be either short. It won't be 10 books. 'Cause we don't have nothing that long ever again. Not in this kind of thing. But it will be interesting, and I'll learn a new character. Because, like I said, I never met all these Disney characters. So these are like brand new to me, and it gets exciting learning all these characters for the first time. So please like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day. And we'll have another video coming out real soon.